Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Triple Double Nation. Today we're looking at Kevin Huerter and the Atlanta Hawks' bright future after a surprising playoff run. Let's get right into the video. Kevin Huerter has been a revelation for the Hawks in this playoff run. The redhead, who has captured the attention of basketball Twitter and became the main character in a plethora of memes, has been an integral piece in the Hawks' playoff success. He's even been given a nickname by his teammates, who affectionately call him Kayvon instead of his actual name. He also did a point for Bleacher Report calling himself Red Velvet, but that just might be the overkill thing at this point. Huerter was a 4-star recruit when he committed to the University of Maryland in 2016. He was listed at 6'5" and a rail thin 170 pounds and ranked as the 50th best recruit in the class according to ESPN. ESPN scouting report said that Huerter is a long and lean shooting guard that's extremely skilled. He's a lights-out shooter off the catch and would need to add strength. The top 5 in that class: Harry Giles, Josh Jackson, Jason Tatum, Lonzo Ball, and Bam Adebayo. There's a growing sense not that Huerter might be that guy for the Hawks, but that he already is that guy. Though he's been producing at a high level with increased minutes for Nate McMillan's team all season, he stormed onto the national scene for all intents and purposes. In Atlanta's Game 7 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers in the second round, Huerter exploded for 27 points on 56% shooting and paced the Hawks with Trae Young struggling from the field and Bogdan Bogdanovic hampered with a sore knee. Though his offensive game is well documented as having some raw tendencies, it's budding in other areas. Arguably the realms in which Atlanta could use a boost the most. Huerter has taken advantage of mid-range opportunities more frequently in the playoffs than he did during the regular season, a welcome sight for a team that shot more than 3 from this season than from any other spot. For Huerter, the frequency at which he's launching it from mid-range in these playoffs is at his career high, a modification that has paid dividends. His 42% frequency and 54% accuracy from the mid-range are in the 82nd and 79th percentiles respectively among guards in these playoffs, per cleaning the glass. While he's been billed as a lights-out shooter from 3, for him to be so willing to create his own shot from inside the arc is what could prove difficult for Milwaukee to adjust to, and not just because Mike Budenholzer doesn't seem to know how to make adjustments of any kind. Just about every time Huerter comes off a screen to make a play in the mid-range, Milwaukee slips back into a drop coverage. Why? Apparently the Bucks love getting torched by high-level shot makers in space. Now, yes, the danger of a Clint Capella rolling to the rim or a kick out to open 3 is there, but if given the chance, Huerter is going to look for his shot. In the postseason, Huerter is averaging 11.4 points a game on 46% from the field. He's also shooting 38% from the three-point line in the playoffs. Those might seem like ordinary numbers from a role player in the postseason, but Huerter has come through for ATL in some big moments, which means his impact can't be ignored. For one, you can't forget his 27 points in a Game 7 against Philadelphia on the road. Huerter continuously hits big shots for ATL when Trae Young goes cold. While people love to affectionately joke around on Twitter about Huerter's game, likely because he's fair-skinned with red hair, both of which are rare in the NBA. But we can't forget that this man is 6'7" with a wingspan to match, who can shoot lights out when he gets hot. And he's only 22 years old right now. All he needs is some confidence, and he can go from an average role player to an above-average starter in this league. We have no idea how this playoff run will end for ATL, but what we do know is that this young team is gaining confidence in themselves game by game. Huerter is no exception to that. If Kayvon continues to work on his offensive game and can become a consistent defender, he can transform into a plug piece that elevates the Hawks over the hump in the future if Young reaches superstar status and John Collins becomes a consistent all-star. The potential for this group in the ATL can be great if all the pieces come together, and Kayvon could be a huge catalyst to the Hawks' success, making an improbable turnaround from what looked like another lost year. The Hawks earned a spot in the playoffs for the first time since 2017, knocked off the top-seeded team in the East, and made it all the way to the conference finals. The Cinderella run finally ended on Saturday night with a 118-107 loss to the Milwaukee Bucks, who won the series 4-2 and advanced to the NBA Finals to take on the Phoenix Suns. But the disappointing finish did nothing to dampen the enthusiasm of a long downtrodden franchise that seems to poise for more long-term success than at any time since moving to Atlanta in 1968. "This is the beginning," Trae Young said. "We have the city excited and we want to keep it like that." The Hawks will likely bring back largely the same cast next season, though they do have 2 major issues to address: power forward John Collins' contract status and the interim tag on Nate McMillan's coaching title. Each boosted his value with the team's improbable postseason run. "Obviously, it's something I feel like I've voiced my opinion about a lot, saying I want to be here," Collins said Sunday. "I try to be the best professional I can and let the business side be the business side. We're going to have to come to a decision very soon, but hopefully the best one for me and the one that keeps me here." Veteran backup Solomon Hill said Sunday he expects McMillan to return unless another team gave him $1 zillion and some ownership stake. He's doing the things he has to do to take care of himself and his family just like anybody and everybody else would do, he said. but Nate is our coach. He's just waiting to get the final details and all that stuff. Like I said, unless the Orlando Magic came in and gave him $100 million a year or something crazy, Nate McMillan is going to be our coach. McMillan and Young led the Young team on a memorable postseason run. With Young turning in one dominant performance after another, Atlanta romped past the resurgent New York Knicks in the opening round, then stunned the top-seeded Philadelphia 76ers in the conference semifinals, winning Game 7 on the road. The Hawks finally met their match against Milwaukee. They were left to wonder how things might have turned out if Young had not been injured in a freak accident in Game 3 when he stepped on an official's foot alongside the sideline and twisted his right ankle. Atlanta has plenty to build on after its unexpected trip to the Eastern Conference Finals. Young missed the next 2 games with a bone bruise, and even though he was cleared to play with Game 6, he clearly wasn't at his best. The charismatic point guard finished with just 14 points on 4 of 17 shooting. "I just wanted to battle and try to fight through it as much as I could. Try to be out of there for my team," he said. "But it was definitely frustrating not being healthy and not being able to give my full 100%. After struggling in the playoffs and his previous coaching stops, McMillan showed that he's capable of leading a team to postseason success. There was nothing exciting about the Hawks the past 3 seasons. They endured lots of losing while rebuilding the roster on a string of bountiful drafts that brought in Young, Collins, Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, and Cam Reddish. Flush with cash and finally ready to make a push in the standings, the Hawks spent big in the free agency market last fall to bring in Bogdan Bogdanovic and Danilo Gallinari, giving the team a much-needed veteran presence. But when the Hawks approached the All-Star break with a 14-20 record, it looked like more of the same. Lloyd Pierce was fired as a coach. After less than 3 seasons on the job, the team turned to McMillan as the interim boss in hopes he could spark a turnaround. Boy, did he ever. With McMillan instilling a newfound toughness that paid off in the fourth quarter of close games, the Hawks played as well as any team in the league the rest of the season. A 27-11 mark that gave them the number 5 seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Atlanta general manager Travis Schmelk, who has seemingly made all the right moves in building the roster, is clearly not sure if he wants to tie up so much money on Collins, especially when it's clear that Young is the face of the franchise and will soon be getting a huge deal of his own. Young is eligible for max extension. "I'm a big live-in-the-moment type of person," Young said Sunday. "Hopefully it comes. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Even if the Hawks decide to part ways with Collins, they will go in the next season viewed with a whole new respect by the rest of the league." Reddish is 21, Young and Huerter are 22, Hunter is 23, Clint Capella, who led the NBA in rebounding and became the bulwark of the Hawks' defense, is 27, Bogdanovic is 28. And don't forget the most recent first-round pick center, Onyeka Ongulu, who had a promising rookie campaign at age 20. Collins, who's just 23, would love to be a part of the mix as well. "We're not done yet," he said. "We're still hungry. They appear ready to reap the rewards for years to come. We'll be back," Young yelled to the crowd on his way off the court. "I meant that with my whole heart," he said. "It's been a special season, and I'm excited about what's to come." Alright guys, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like rating down below and comment if you see the Hawks making it to the championship next summer. See you guys next time, and have a great day.